Mm.
Hello. Where did she appear from? And what's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious? What?
what's the voice direction for her? Is she Frenchy Poo Poo?
Yeah, French. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, I just for French. Go with that. She's for the record, she's not like that old, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it shows her age yet. What's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious?
I hope you are appreciating my museum.
Sorry, have we? Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again.
My apologies. I am Esmeralda to Spells. This is my museum of waxwork.
Name?
Esmeralda, two spells. I mean, Esmeralda is like a very common, like, Roma name, I guess. I don't know.
That means
spells,
emerald
magic.
in Spanish, but
Well, yeah, Emerald, and then two spells is based on Madame Tussauds, and spells magic.
it's yeah, founder of Madame Tussauds,
Yeah.
Marie Tussauds.
Have you been to
No.
the fair?
I haven't been to anything wax related ever.
Do you not like it, or do you just,
I just
not?
never had the opportunity.
I was gonna say, does it skeeze you out?
I don't think so. It's just models.
We should go on a boys' trip, and then go to see the wax museum in the Great North. I'm making plans. We're doing it. The boys.
Shady says Madame Two Swords.
Madame Two Sword. Shady, you're coming with us. Gotta get your passport.
What? You're the Madame Two Spells? Excuse me, controller? Why is the button not working?
It's magic. She's cursed you.
Unplug, replug in.
Look at that evil eye. She's doing it on purpose.
There we go.
She's Monica's ancestor. She's suing Monica.
Okay. French.
Bien sûr. Still only 26 years young, and my dad.
Well, there's our age right there. Is that significant somehow?
I am a madame in them only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi.
Right.
How's my voice, by the way? Is that good?
Good pronunciation.
Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, waxwork in particular.
That'll be Mr. Sholmes then.
I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle.
Oh, she got long hair.
Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. She sounds deadly serious.
That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeeks now?
Let's not forget what Hurley said before. Something about being afoot right here at the museum, I mean.
Yes, I know, but...
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
haven't we got enough on our plate already? I don't think there's anything new, Dig.
Oh, I have an idea what's going on.
Do you? What?
Vaguely. Do you want to know my theory already? The case just started.
Yeah, because it's not necessarily on base.
Fair. I think what is either was supposed to happen and we went wrong, or what actually happened, and it's weird, is that they were supposed to... Odie Asman was supposed to... Something about Odie Asman and a wax figure, and then something went wrong. I think that's where the story's going.
Okay,
like
it's very vague, but okay.
Well, yeah, but it's like piecing together. That's what I'm saying. I think maybe it was supposed to he was supposed to go down, and then the wax statue on the other side, or maybe it was a wax statue that was supposed to be in, and then he was to be on the other side. Something like that. We'll figure it out.
Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Tuspaz?
I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans. You know. Gosh! It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution, as she did. So that is when she acquired the savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing likeness. All these waxworks really do look like they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Harley. What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of the real people on which they were modeled. In the hours immediately following their executions, that is the secret of the extraordinary likeness.
That sounds terrifying.
All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see.
Ugh. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying?
Also,
Do not fear.
what glow up is this in the cough up queen? Am I right?
I guess you did give her kind of a French accent.
Yeah, I've upgraded.
Sorry?
This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre thing. I do hope you'll explore.
Does she have red eyes? I've always been trying to
She
think
does.
she has red eyes.
Mm-hmm.
There are models, famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope.
It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it.
Sorry, perhaps I should ease you into things.
What's the situation with that?
Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approaches me some days ago. Oh, he approached me some days ago. You see, with a business proposal.
Oh, what sort of proposal?
My dear madam, what these past exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective.
Oh, words to that effect.
Wait, let me see if I can. Let me see. Go back to the core record.
Oh, court record?
Yeah, no, the history, the chat log.
Madame, what these past exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous detective. Naturally, I'm well aware that Mr. Shelms is widely known in London as a talented detective.
It's great, detective, actually. He's very specific about it.
Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we are unable to agree terms.
Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services.
For a mere £500, I will drive your cauldron of wax. At this very moment, I will dive into your cauldron of wax.
Oh, words to that effect.
That doesn't... That seems like undercharging to third degree burns from wax.
Yeah, that's rough.
Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch.
Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead.
Surely he doesn't need to do what he's doing, though, does he?
I would think not, but he was very insistent.
I have a 50 shilling problem that must be resolved by morning.
Oh, something to that effect. Or words to that effect. It's the pawnbroker.
Oh, I don't even know accents anymore. That was Gina.
It's a pawnbroker. That's what it is. There must be something to redeem.
Is the consulting detective work not going so well? Something afoot.
Something, a hand.
I wonder, could I ask you something about your foot?
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps?
Don't, sir. Wait.
Whoever suggested such a thing to you?
Oh, well, it was your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh, he's disappeared.
He's moved on to a different statue. Is this Sholmes?
I don't know who it is. I think it was the female one, but I'm not sure. No, nah, I don't know. I wasn't listening.
A wax model is a work of art.
Not some touchy object for trade.
Ah, it isn't. Okay. There you are.
Leaving the exhibit again where you should be working. Do you wish to be melted down?
My dear Madam Two-Spells, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead.
French ellipses!
Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
Why ever not?
She turned as white as a sheet, and she went silent in French.
Silent in French.
Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 5 shillings.
It's very cheap. Oh, 50. I was
So
going to say,
50.
did I read it wrong?
Yeah.
Please be aware that I prefer I insist upon payment in advance.
Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain?
That is the spare special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it.
Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer, then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder?
Ha! Absolument no! There is nothing amiss behind there.
Nothing amiss, madame. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain?
Ah!
It's to draw attention.
I strongly encourage you to lies beyond before the situation worsens.
Yes, very well. I will drag back the curtains, but only for a soupçon.
$139. It's the spookiest number.
I must confess that I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The 2 special exhibits a very bleak graveyard scene, indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, The waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however? It's a portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor.
Well then, perhaps, Mr. Shrums, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself.
I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact.
He was in the jury in in the first game.
Yeah, he seemed familiar.
Yeah, he was I think the foreman in the first case. What?
Skillfully made as he's they're always distinguishable from real humans. So allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit.
Why would you say that?
And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime.
Duh!
She looks as pale as candle wax.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
So, Madame Tuspel, as you agree to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
Great deduction. Been a while.
Bum, bum, ba, bum, 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 bum, bum.
To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in the museum. The answer is revealed by the bundles of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some £200.
That is all my own money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Not as much as those involuntary glances you cast, it would seem, Madame Tuspel's. Yet the answer lies where your eyes would now fall. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale? Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer the centerpiece of your special exhibit for the sum of £200.
No!
Now, let us explore the next curiosity for which we're presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, cause of which is clearly known to you.
Ah!
Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow, of course, was the £200. It would appear that you twisted the gentleman around your little finger more efficiently.
What are you suggesting?
You rashly agreed to purchase a waxwork for the sum of £200.
Man, if her hair's that long while braided, imagine how long it is straight.
It's long. So, I mean, not to like put you on the spot, but you probably find her very attractive.
I mean, I probably do. That big pot of hot wax she threatens people with, man.
Oh.
Shady called her Goth Rapunzel and said he's into it.
Listen, I think both of you are into Goth Rapunzel. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him that what an extraordinary amount he was paying.
Extortionate.
But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result
Are his eyes even closed? The result, the scene we see before us, he collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret.
Sold for cash.
Yeah. Wow. The question that arises then is, what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let's consider the problem for a moment. You
cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief, such as it's worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that the crime is being perpetrated. What?
Well, it's not a secret now.
Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. He got the police Oscar.
But
Next, we turn our attention to the old man sitting before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he has a movement of muscle, almost in fact, as if he were waxwork.
but you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proved whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag.
What, people can't wear price tags?
Through pens, a tragically low price, I might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxwork riddled with cracks. So rude. And yet you sold it for the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame?
I do not...
Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon.
Discovered already.
Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle.
That reminds me of a puzzle. A gentleman leaves no puzzle unsolved.
But, Professor, we forgot 5 puzzles on the way here.
Shut up, Lucas. You're not even with me anymore.
Oh no. Sad times. I feel like Luke and Iris would get along. I see I've stunned you all into silence.
You have, Hurley.
Look at all that melty cheese. Yum, yum, yum.
I
Iris...
wouldn't dip nachos in that.
Yeah, I want to dip.
I said I wouldn't.
I would dip. I would dip a nice baguette or a croissant
In wax?
Yum, yum,
Ew.
yum, 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 yum. That's melty cheese. That's not wax. That's Gruyere.
Cheese doesn't bubble.
How bougie.
And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, the notorious narrowed to one point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow.
According to deduction, then, this special exhibit featured this old policeman. So that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it?
The killer policeman. Ottermore.
Sorry?
It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year.
Ottermole is my favorite 90s Nick cartoon.
Wait, give me a second. I gotta think of the reference to that. Is it SpongeBob? I don't think it's SpongeBob.
What, me? My reference?
What is a... Yeah, your reference.
Cat dog.
Cat dog! Ottermole. Good, good, good. I was like thinking like, I don't know, Our Real Monsters. There was a character maybe that was like, you know what I mean? Like I was barking
I don't
up
know
the wrong tree.
I don't know how you'd forget Cat Dog.
Oh, I remember Cat Dog.
Cat Dog's even in Smash, or Knockoff Smash.
Knockoff Smash. Are the Angry Beavers in Knockoff Smash?
I don't think so.
That's unfortunate.
But they're
I
still getting
literally-
characters, and now they're like going to like a free-to-play thing or something.
Have I told you guys that I have the Funkos of Norbert and Daggett on my desk at all times?
Nice.
Here's Daggett. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether. Yeah, I only have 3 Funko Pops. It's Norval, Daggett, and then Manolo from the book.
They all fit together perfectly.
That's my I got priorities straight.
And it turned out the culprit was the policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Automo.
So you mean that's who the sinister looking old man there is supposed to be?
Indeed. It is a particular grim-faced, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember the odious countenance only too well. Odious? Odious?
But is £200 a lot of money for wax model?
I've heard that word before. It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that put things into perspective.
So it is quite a lot then.
Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down.
That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
Ugh, the smell of that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Shrums did more or less just accuse her to her face, so
And charged her for it.
I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright. To make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions.
Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Two Spells vents her anger.
Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow.
So Madame Two Spells...
Oh,
no. It's you.
So, Madame Two Spell, in accordance with our agreement. You shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famous and great detective, Endeavour exhibit, at work. Ba-ba-da-bop. You're not wearing that outfit anymore. It's a lie. Do you want me to read this again?
Up to you.
For my voice's sake, I'd rather not.
£200.
That is a lot of money.
She definitely looked in this direction, it's true.
But I'm not sure she'd sell any of her wax for giving £200.
Oh?
She must put her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
For that much money, I would. It sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder if the £200 could have some other significance.
Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if anything else that could explain it.
So, public notice, portly man, Note on the wall. I think that's everything.
Oh, give me a second. My dog, I think, is trying to escape from the thing. Oh, he's gone. Okay, we're good. I think it's it's a long shot, but I think it's the sign that's stuck on the wall. But I mean, that's just kind of my gut. I'm
Present
sorry
or
if
examine?
Well, save just to be sure, because I'm not 100% sure that
I
that's
can't
what
save.
it is. Then we can just examine it, I guess, to verify. I don't know if that's the point, though.
What's that note doing pinned on the wall there?
Oh, that's interesting. I can't pause at all during these. Cool.
Good to
But
know.
yes, let's see. Dear Madam to Spells. I've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for a safe return is £200. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd of October.
What?
This is... It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped.
Yes, it's a ransom note.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
What?
It's a ransom note.
Okay.
Present.
Present? Take that!
If you had tried presenting the piece of paper, oh, there you go. They would have said something that's like, "Oh, where's your piece of paper?" Right?
They would have been wrong.
Yeah.
The significance of the £200 is revealed by that ransom note.
Quite so. You must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness. Abducting a waxwork.
Ah!
£200 is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it.
The matter in question has a special importance, so I put together all the money I have.
Inquiry then, £200 you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now let us explore the next curiosity for which we were presented. I just love how he's just rolling with it, completely off base. I already read this.
I don't remember what lines. £200. So if the waxwork is kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
We could just ask him when he comes round.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Yes, you're right. Ellie's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear.
I appreciate Iris.
But in that case, what's Madam to Spells trying to hide? Let's have a closer look round.
I mean, she's telling the truth. It's like, we could just wake the guy up and ask him what's going on. Because like, no, absolutely not. Like, there's a process, Iris. We gotta investigate.
Long hair braid.
Oh.
Hand of Madame. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Literally those two things?
I mean, do we need to inspect the? Yeah, just check the hand, I guess. Inspect it.
This is just Madame to Spells. Oh. Go ahead, Iris.
Well, thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth, Bruno.
I mean, I was about to say that this is just Madame to Spell's right foot.
Spell's right hand. It's right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all.
That's some good voice acting. Just the course correction was very evident in the tone. That was really good.
Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well. Look.
Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please.
You thought it was a foot, Bruno. And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard.
It's not the only thing that's really hot.
No!
You mean...
I do.
It's made of wax?
It's the Triple X episode, Bruno.
Shady said she's a Rakshasa, confirmed.
Waxwork hand. Present it.
If they know it's made of wax, did they go back there and poke it? Like, how do they know now it's made of
Yeah, literally, like, she's just like standing there still. I think everybody at this point is just like trying to humor Herlock Sholmes.
That and or like deer in the headlights. They just have no idea what's going on, so they freeze up.
Yeah, or continuing the canon, it's the fourth wall, and only detectives can break through it.
They're not detectives. Well, Ryunosuke is not. Without the man.
Yeah, but he's the one that's creating the fourth wall break, so that's why he doesn't need to be able to break it.
What dealt the man such a shocking blow is, of course, the waxwork hand.
Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one can deliver a very substantial blow. How could you?
The hand protruding from the bottom of her cape.
Go ahead, Ryunosuke.
It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that, in fact, it's a left hand.
I was actually going to say that it was a left foot. And somewhat masculine as well. Why do you have such masculine left hands, madam?
Only one of her left hands is masculine.
Yeah, she has one left hand that's feminine and one left hand that's masculine. She does not have a right hand. In other words, it does not belong to you, madam. It is the hand of a waxwork model. Kia! I don't know how I can say Kia in a French accent. Oh.
Some of my visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage.
So you mean that arm?
Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir.
No small keepsake.
Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to visit the blossoms.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. That kills the tree. Do not, like...
Oh no! I'll put them back.
Cherry blossom trees are actually very sensitive. Yeah. Like, even just, like, cutting... Like, people, like, try to carve their names onto the trees, and that will, like, very likely to kill it. It's crazy.
Well, then that's good. I never carved my name. I only carved your name.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's specifically when you carve your given name, specifically Shad JV's given name.
I'm afraid I have to teach the man a lesson.
You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back.
And the result, the scene we see before us, he was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped.
Kidnapped.
The question arises there, what has become the man? Let us consider the problem for a moment.
His neckerchief. According to Mr. Sholmes, the other neckerchief is assigned to other policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity? It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard.
That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away.
Well, uncovering secrets is in any true detective nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tuspel's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps he might not have identified the man quite correctly. Neckerchief. Flat cap. Shoulder stub.
Ah! That neckerchief is hideous. Other than that, ugly neckerchief. I don't see anything else wrong with this picture.
Nothing else? I have nowhere to back out.
Fine, then just do the arm stub.
Present?
Yeah.
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub.
Frida, that's really insensitive.
No such boneless humans walk this earth, of that I assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant Jean Clay, is in fact, defying our odds, a waxwork mortal.
I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Chums.
Oh no! I spit my cough drop somewhere onto this computer desk. Oh, I found it. It's on the floor. That was gonna get stuck.
He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year.
I can't with this game sometimes.
I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally, what other explanation could there be?
And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it?
Next, we turn our attention to the old man who sat before him with the particularly unsightly visage. Been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle, though, as if he were waxwork.
I read this.
We actually confirms my suspicions, but notice it at once, of course. Observe. The telltale sign is so they prove whether or not the old man. Price tag. Blah, 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 blah.
Killer policeman called Addermull, was it? Was he well known?
It's all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though. True pence isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Gerdub's delightful lodgings, in fact.
Oh, very specific.
So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? I mean, it's his only frame of reference of how much a through penny is worth.
I mean, we also kind of agreed not to talk about this case.
We had another case there. We had another case there.
That's the only case when we established that it costs a through penny to get that gas. They're talking about the case conveniently.
You don't know where I learned that.
But Bruno, you just admitted the case.
It's a shame half of that cut out.
It's not a shame.
The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for £200. Is this crusty old killer policeman Addermull? Really? Doesn't look like it weighs £200.
Actually, Bruno, in England at this time, we use kilograms to weigh everything, so I don't think you would know what a pound is, as far as the measurement of weight.
Well, how many kilograms does a 200 pound thing weigh in kilograms?
Actually, a little under 90 kilograms. It's not a very hard calculation. Just divide the number by 2.2.
Well, maybe this thing could weigh 90 kilograms, but not 200 pounds. So.
Well, perhaps we should get a good look at her and again and see if we find another idea that crops up.
Price tag.
Oh,
scarf on the arm. Twitch.
Name drop.
What is that?
Well, clearly, Iris and Rionosuke are elite gamers. So the telltale sign that proves whether or not this old man is waxwork is obviously Twitch. They would know. They've seen his live streams. He does hot tub streams. ASMR hot tub streams.
ASMR hot tub social eating streams.
No!
He's just quietly eating into the mic while he's in a hot tub.
Oh no! And then people can pay for him to write their names on the pieces of food that he's about to eat. I'm deceased!
The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch.
The obvious twitch! Even the most realistic wax. Even the most realistic. I'll give you a second. Oh, even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. They have YouTube Live.
No, exclusively Facebook Live.
No! That's clearly inferior! Oh, Shomes, come on, get with the time!
And that's why all the waxworks use it. It has as many viewers as live streamers.
I keep choking on my own saliva. Oh, that's so bad. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact genuine of Scotland Yard.
Slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then.
Oh my gosh. And there you have it. Well, Madame Tuspel.
He literally got the two mixed up, that the other one's a cop, and he mixed up a cop and a waxwork model, which the cop's leg was twitching the entire time, and the waxwork model is missing an arm.
You can see the stub. Well, Sherlock.
He never walked around to see from the other angle to see either of those things.
He's just a gentleman. He wasn't going to point it out.
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place.
He's clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. But then...
That was without your spell.
Uh-oh. Oh, zoomed in on your notes, guy. Sorry to spell. You could say it.
You took the words right out of my mouth. But I was going to say he's clearly tired. He sounds like he is taking a nap.
But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence?
And no doubt the price tag for the muffler, which is the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market.
Muffler? They didn't even invent cars yet. Muffler? I barely know her.
No! Oh, I don't even know. I don't even want to know what that means.
Neither do I. Or
They haven't
her.
invented cars yet. How would I know what that means? I presume you've observed the scarf turned around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway.
Of course, because as you know, there has been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective.
So it would seem that we're finally arrived at the truth. The waxwork of the, that's you.
The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped.
Now I'm doing it too! And Scotland Yard is already investigating. But the motto's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle.
That seemed like a very pointless deduction, though.
Well, literally, Iris said it. It's just like,
Well, even the rest of it, like...
yeah, like we could just talk to the twitching police officer and be like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, but Sholmes didn't realize that was a police officer, so... He probably asked the other one, and it didn't answer.
My dear John Clay, it's a great pleasure meeting you. Shaking the stub.
It looks like you've lost weight. A whole arm's worth.
He would say that. He would say that. Oh.
What?
Oh.
Do you want to buy this muffler? It would cost you an arm and a leg.
Man, I'm ruined by this game.
Oh, such people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway.
Oh. That's excessive.
Your great detection was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe.
Was it really?
It was pretty trash. It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle.
Like, he literally thought that an armless dummy was a person.
He was a real human. And he accused you of a crime. Like, as for your rough customer, I've no doubt to regain consciousness thoroughly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted.
Yes, certainly it was.
Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish.
Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that the waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. It's your most prominently displayed. So that's why the curtains close. And I found the ransom note in its place.
The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then.
So this waxwork that was stolen was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose. A particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say, the Professor.
Professor? That's a name I've heard of.
That reminds me of a puzzle. Ka! Stab.
Your death reminds me of a puzzle. I'm still alive. That's the solution.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete.
Shady-ass Moriarty.
Oh
Sorry.
no, we haven't met Moriarty yet, so yeah, probably.
The Professor? The Professor came here around the time I was born, didn't it?
Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders have rocked the capital.
10 years ago?
Yes, that's exactly the time that Baroque Van Zeeks graduated from university, in fact. Why is it relevant?
What? Surely he's not saying... Because all time revolves around that event of when did Baroque Van Zeeks...
Oh, I remember my
Right.
birthday. It was that faithful birthday, 17 years before Van Zeeks graduated from university. I had chocolate cake. It was great. Excuse me.
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life.
ellipses. As you surmised, it was a professor case.
Oh, the event changed. Yeah. So who is this professor then?
It was a series of gruesome murders that all had London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
Now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy.
Wait, only 5 kills? And he's like the most feared killer? That's a pretty low kill count.
That's rough, buddy.
Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction.
But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Van Zeeks?
You must first understand, my dear fellow. Why is it that the professor earns such infamy? It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest.
What do you mean, Harley?
Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Members of the nobility, even royalty, it sent shockwaves to the country's administration.
Members of the... Ah, wait, of course. What Professor Hairbrain said. Lord Van Zeeks is from a family with noble blood.
Oh gosh!
It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of Clint Van Zeeks.
No, I don't believe it. Van Zeeks.
Why is it so incredulous?
I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his elder brother's murder, the young Baroque pursued a career as a prosecutor, and eventually became the Reaper we know today.
I had no idea Lord Van Zeeks had such a tragic backstory.
I appreciate the switch from past to backstory.
Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit.
I'm afraid I've had to excuse myself as well.
Oh yes, of course. It's been a pleasure, thank you. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you... I think it... Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here.
Oh. Oh. Whoa.
It's been too long, really has. I'm delighted to see you, Brooke.
It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of places.
I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Asman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen.
Tomorrow, the court will decide.
Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it.
I must warn you.
Oh, I know. I've heard it already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you?
Yes.
Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Brooke, are you really?
What?
Never mind. I know that you have my best interests at heart.
My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else.
Of course. I fully understand. Thank you, Baroque.
Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court.
Oh. It really did. It tugged. It tugged on my heartstrings.
And that was like really good timing too.
Yeah.
We did just the right amount pacing of goofs and stuff
Just the right amount of goofs and content.
to put it like we've never had a more exact timing than that.
Listen, but when we're done with the final Ace Attorney, we'll have it down pat. The last case, it'll be like clockwork.